Hello, horror fans. It's me, Cassandra from the Horror Podcast, and today we have a very special episode. I'm coming to you from my inner sanctum to introduce this episode. Today we have on the Thrills, Chills, and Kills team, and we are talking about their film festival, which is our second year doing the episode, and we are super excited that this is becoming a horrorcraft tradition, and we're hopefully going to be there for the in person, which is coming soon. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for this episode. The film festival is absolutely fantastic. And again, this year it is free and it has some incredible top tier talent. And as always, we advocate it's worth a watch. It's free. You're getting a lot of fresh new content. Please go watch it. So without further ado, let's cue that fucking music. Hit it.
Hello, horror fans. It's me, Cassandra from the Horrorcraft Podcast, and
Zane.
and
Kylie.
and today we have on the crew from the Thrills, Chills, and Kills Film Festival. How are you guys doing? First of all, Paige and Zach are now Paige and Zach Jenkins. They got married. Snap, guys.
Yes.
Snaps.
We sure did.
Snaps.
So yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good. Happy
Doing
New
all
Year.
Married bliss.
Oh, yes.
Now you guys can get
Different kind of
all
hair.
the spooky decorations you want.
I mean, they could before, but now it's Mr.
It's
and
marital.
Mrs. Jenkins.
I literally bought a cookie jar last night, a sugar skull cookie jar last night from Buc-ee's. So yes.
That's a solid purchase. A solid
yeah.
purchase.
Gotcha.
I am so excited because obviously we did this episode last year. And now we've just decided we're going to do it every year because this film festival is truly unique in so many different ways. But we asked you guys some questions last year that were our typical horror theme questions. This year we decided to be a little spicy. And since you guys are kind of the kickoff for our spooky season lineup, which Halloween is going to be Halloween for us, and it's going to have some really cool, interesting episodes coming out. This is kind of the kickoff. So we figured it's a group of us. It's a party. We're having a party right now. So we're going to talk about spooky season, and I'm so glad that was brought up, especially with Paige and her sugar skull cookie jar, because I know I buy a shit ton of stuff this season because I decorate for that all year. So, I mean, we got to get it while we can.
We collect during
We collect.
the season.
Yes. We got to get it while we can. We got to market. So we're just going to ask some spooky season questions. The biggest one, obviously, and it's crazy because we're doing this on the day that Starbucks launched all of their stuff. Pumpkin or apple for this time of year? Who wants to go first?
I'll
Paige,
go
go.
first. That is super hard because I like both, but I'm gonna go with pumpkin.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's close for me, but pumpkin just easy. Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Definitely pumpkin.
Pumpkin gang. Kylie, what about you?
Pumpkin. Absolutely. Pumpkin. Team
Yeah.
pumpkin.
So slashers this time of year or supernatural horror this time of year?
Oh,
We're just asking the difficult questions
oh
tonight.
yeah. I love slashers
That is
so
so
much.
hard.
I like
It's slashers every day.
it's yeah, definitely slashers. It's hard though because supernatural can be fun sometimes, but I love a good just classic slasher.
Me too.
What about you, Zane?
I'm torn. I prefer a good supernatural if it's done right. So I guess I'm gonna go with that one.
What about you, Kylie?
I'm gonna go with slashers.
You're gonna go with
Slashers.
slashers. So this is gonna be weird
Yeah.
for me because I am always team slashers, but spooky season in general, I'm gonna say supernatural just because haunted house movies, like we just did The Changeling, and that reminded me of how good effective scares like that can be, especially this time of year. So definitely feel that way. So Hocus Pocus or Beetlejuice?
Look at his shirt that he's
It's
wearing right now. And
Beetlejuice.
obviously, they cannot hear, but it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah. It's Beetlejuice. I'm literally wearing it.
What about you, Paige? Are you
I love
going?
both. I love both so much, but I'm gonna go with Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Okay, we said it twice. We can't say it a third time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, well, I'm gonna break the curse. Hocus Pocus. I do feel like Hocus Pocus sometimes we get a little out of control with it. But I mean, woman power, like
Yeah.
especially now that they made the new one, like can we advocate that the Sanderson sisters kind of got like the short end of the stick and all this shit? Because like they went through some shit. Like they were trying to be forced into marriage and shit like that. You can understand now why they were trying to suck children's souls. I'm not advocating that that was the right choice. Just saying there's context behind it now. So Hocus Pocus, obviously.
it wasn't random.
It wasn't random. They didn't wake up one day and decide that that was going to happen. So, and I'm still a little concerned that the guy who turns in Thackeray Binks that turns into the cat, he ended up on NCIS. I'm a little concerned how we got that trajectory. So, I'm gonna go with Hocus Pocus. I feel like there's some context we're still missing there.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Zane?
Hocus Pocus.
Kylie?
Tiebreaker.
Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Showtime.
I'm glad we
Yep.
broke that up so we didn't say Beetlejuice 3 times.
Same.
Yeah.
But so witches or vampires?
Oh. Mm.
Okay. That one's super hard for me because like I really love witchy stuff. I'm into like tarot readings and things like that lately. I've been practicing, but I am also kind of in a vampire mood lately, and we've been watching a lot of vampire shows. Because for my birthday, Zach has got me tickets to this tour in Conyers, Georgia, where you can like tour the Vampire Diaries and original sets. and all that.
Yes.
That is so
Oh.
cool.
Vampires
Good
for me right
husband.
now.
Good husband award.
So I've been so
Yay.
October of last year, I started from episode 1, and we've been watching in the order, like timeline order within the storylines. And so now I'm like, what, season 7 of Vampire Diaries, season was it 3, I think,
Yeah.
originally.
See, those are cool because aren't there like certain times where they do stuff with the cast? Like I just saw one where they have like events, like they had one where they had bowling with like a bunch of the people from the originals cast and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think that's super cool. Like honestly, I think great marketing on that. Like I think that that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
top tier.
Yeah.
So Zach, vampires.
I'll say right now, probably yes, because probably vampires because of how much I have watched of vampires in the last 10 months. So,
Right.
but both are equally. I mean, that's a tough one. That's very hard.
Mhm.
Zane, I don't know if I need to ask you.
Can I be a hybrid? Does that count?
I mean, technically, I guess you could be a witch that falls in love with a vampire and he turns her.
We're going with that.
That
Yeah.
time,
First,
we're
find me
going
the-
with that.
First, find
Could
me
be
the
like
vampire
Hereditary.
first.
Yeah,
Like gives him power.
Kylie, what about you?
Oh, yeah. because I'm into the witchy stuff too, but like I love vampires. Like, yeah, vampires. Yeah.
We stand a good
Yeah.
vampire.
I feel like everyone knows I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick vampires. I'm a slut for vampires. Like, I don't even
Yep.
mean it in that way. Like, I'm just saying, you know, everyone grew up with Twilight. I was still hung up on being a Lost Boy. Like, that's the trajectory I was going into my mind.
My vampires don't sparkle.
Yes. Well, no, but Lost Boys do
Yep.
sparkle. But the
They
reason
don't.
they sparkled was because of their blood.
Blood, yeah, I'm okay with the blood being glittery because I like a good glitter moment, but I don't want you shining bright like a diamond. Sorry,
I mean, and listen,
we're not a disco ball.
Keith Sutherland was hot. Like, hot.
Still is.
Still is. But I mean, like, most of the people that were in those movies, like Dracula, Fright Night, different, most of them are pretty like Chris Sarandon is still fucking hot. And he's done bajillions of things. So, I mean, vampires forever. That's where I'm going. I'm glad. I feel like we need Angie to end up answering this question. So I'm gonna have to ask her this so we can get her response. But haunted houses or mazes?
Ooh.
Okay, so I love both, but we have probably one of like the best haunted houses, especially in this part of the country, like minutes from our apartment. We went last year in October, and then they had one in February, and then they had one like February was a My Bloody Valentine theme, and then they had a summer one, a spring break one, I
You
should say.
just piqued her interest. She loves My Bloody Valentine.
It
That
was
movie.
so we took Zach's dad to the My Bloody Valentine one. Like
Was it
It
just
was-
like was it just like their take on it, or was it actually like based on My Bloody Valentine?
it was more their take. It had a lot of their normal haunt stuff with some of that themed throughout. Like there was a guy that was going throughout. Like and was going back and forth throughout. It wasn't quite as themed, but it was really cool. So I'm
So
gonna go haunted houses.
I like haunted houses. I feel like if we're talking like haunted mansion style, maybe. However, bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. I'm sorry, I had to take that moment. um, but no, I just claustrophobia. Fucking claustrophobia. If I'm already gonna be scared, like I already have like don't come in my bubble or I'll karate chop you kind of mode. I feel like a maze, I'm a little bit better at that. Cause at least if I try to karate chop you, like we're around corn. It's
That's fair.
we're okay.
I will find a corn stalk and I will beat you with it.
Yeah. Or just like the open air. Like sometimes a bitch just needs to breathe. Okay. Maybe if I get a little bit more oxygen in my lungs, I won't be so angry. And then me and the person that's trying to come and scare me, we could just vibe. So
That's her solution.
That's my
We're
solution.
just gonna vibe.
We're just gonna vibe. Now, if you're telling me that you're gonna have a New Orleans style mansion, like of the new Interview with the Vampire, and you're gonna have a vampire haunted house, a bitch might risk it.
Or provincial chateau.
Yes.
The old school chateau. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a good plot line.
Yeah. Give me a good plot line. Give me a good story. Don't just piece it together. Give me something good.
Throw a twist.
Yeah.
There's got to be a twist.
Like, make me believe, like, this man, he did wrong, but I'm rooting for him because they killed his wife. So I believe in you, sir, even though you're probably going to run around and scare me. I believe in you. So good plot line.
I would be like, I'm on your side, damn it.
I'm on your side.
We can team up.
That would probably be me this year if I went through the Warner Brothers ones, because the Warner Brothers this year, I think, is Family Opera, and like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and a couple other people. And I feel like I'd be like to Family Opera, I'm on your side. I have
I
like
know.
27 episodes of the podcast where I'm on your side. Don't do this to me. So, Kylie, what about you?
I'm gonna go with the maze
Maze.
I like a good
because
maze.
houses have locks.
Yeah, houses
Yeah,
have locks.
houses have locks. You can be locked in. I'm good. Nope.
It's pretty
Yeah.
Take a maze.
Well, and my whole thing too is like look at the scare, like let's just shout out Gavin for a minute. Look at the scare house. Like that the whole reason
That's
Gavin came up with
I
that.
was thinking.
Yeah, the whole reason
Yeah,
Gavin
that's
came up with
exactly what I
that
was
is
thinking. I'm good.
because he thought, "Oh, hey, you could kill somebody in this and they wouldn't realize that they killed you." I'm thinking, "Oh shit. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm out, man." I mean,
Yeah.
fuck that. No. And Hell House
No.
just even reinforces that even more.
Yeah, my other one.
Yeah. No,
Yep,
that's a
I'm
no for
good.
me, dog. The moment that I mean, I would have literally taken a tape measure and some chalk, and the moment that thing would have moved even an inch from where it was, and I saw that, no, that house is burned. We're collecting the insurance money. We're starting over.
Not to get ahead of myself,
Yep.
but we have
Yep.
a film this year that it's not a house, but it's like an entire abandoned town, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But how they get
Piqued
the
my
town
interest.
and why they get this town makes that even worse, because like with a haunted house, you just have a house.
Right.
With this, you have like
A
8
whole
buildings.
city.
There's a maze too, and it's like 8 buildings, a wooden maze, and it's abandoned,
nope.
and nothing is around for like 3 hours, and it's terrible, terrible investment.
Terrible. Terrible. That are no. And
But
trust
tell me
me,
why I want to watch this.
I want to watch it, but talking about investing in it, no. And I
No.
do some stupid things with money,
I
but
would just say the man sold his wife's car to invest in this. And I'm
Yeah.
going to be saying that Zach would not have a wife if he sold my car to invest in a haunted town.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, their
But
house.
Paige, it could be a new blockbuster. It could be the new Cedar Point.
That's what he was banking on, and it did not go the way he expected.
Oh God, no. Okay, so since Zach just brought up one of the movies, we all have our favorites around Halloween. What's your ultimate favorite Halloween movie?
Halloween, the original.
Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my answer to every what's your favorite horror movie at any time is definitely Halloween.
Don't go on my TikTok then. Please don't. I mean, I love Halloween, but no, there was a thing about hot takes, and I was talking about how like Halloween's great, but when it comes in terms of slasher films, like, is it the best example? Maybe
Right.
not.
No,
So
You can still appreciate it. Just
I like
Yeah.
fun twists on slashers, like that Scream was one of the first to really do.
Yeah.
And so many of
I
them.
kind of more or less talked about Black Christmas and how
Oh.
Black Christmas came out before that, and how
Oh.
that's more. It's definitely more of a twist, and I think
Oh,
that
for
that's
sure.
probably
Mhm.
needs
That's
to get
what-
more love.
That's his answer for favorite Christmas movie, if that helps.
Oh yeah, like Christmas in any genre, it's Black Christmas.
Oh yeah. Well, and Bob Clark, who did Black Christmas, he did A Christmas Story, and we live like right by that. Like the whole area that they put like with the house and all the stuff that they kept for that. Like that's close to us. Like we keep trying to say, okay, we're gonna go and we're gonna film stuff there every year, and it just doesn't happen. But I want to do it. So, because technically, if you think about it, like Christmas Story could be like a family-friendly horror movie. Like we're talking about, there's some crazy stuff in that movie, like the
Yeah.
whole issue with the bully and like the kid literally hauling off and like kicking his ass. Like that got dark there for a minute. Like
Oh, yeah.
that kid, I mean, it wasn't just, oh, I'm mad. Like that kid literally was about to suck that kid's the
Like,
other kid's soul out.
Release
Like
the Kraken.
exactly. Zane, what about you?
Rose Red.
Oh yeah, good one.
Doesn't take place in spooky time, but it's my favorite spooky movie.
Right. What about you, Kylie?
I like watching Poltergeist around Halloween. I don't know why. It was one
That's a
of
good
those that was
answer.
on Fear Fest on A.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love watching my characters, but like, yeah, Poltergeist. That's what I like watching around
Grandma
Halloween.
Gertie. Good old Grandma Gertie. For reference, if you missed the episode, and so Paige and Zach don't think that we've lost our marbles, we were talking about
Even
how
more than usual.
even more than usual. We were
We
talking
have.
about Ghost Ship, and we were talking about the scene where the pool starts filling and they have the skeletons in there. And I was talking about how do we think that those are real skeletons or not? Because that was during the start of the time where they're using more CGI and they were able to use cheaper materials. But we were talking about Poltergeist and how people get so freaked out about the fact that real skeletons were probably used in that whole scene with the pool and stuff like that. But if you watch the thing on Cursed Films for Poltergeist, the effects guy was like, okay, you want to pinpoint our movie? Well, 90% of the horror movies that were going on during that time had real skeletons. It was cheaper to go and buy them from medical supply companies and use them than to create an actual skeleton. And so we were like, it's okay if your Grandma Gertie ended up in the scene in the movie where she's floating she's living her best life. And then Zane makes it worse by having his glasses on that are
I
his
have
Grandma
'em.
Gertie's.
My Grandma Gertie glasses.
So Zane
They
created
remind me of
whole.
They remind me of Sophia Petrillo from the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
They remind me of her glasses.
But now Zane, when he puts these glasses on, he's Grandma Gertie.
I'm Grandma Gertie.
He's Grandma Gertie. So she
Love
didn't make it to
this.
the retirement home. She's just a prop in all the extra movies.
But she still made it. She made it all. She still
still
made
made
it.
So I feel like mine's about to be a
What's your
B.
grandma doing? Oh, nothing. She's buried in the cemetery. Well, mine's on TV.
Right? Origin stories. So mine is probably about to be like really stereotypical, but Trick or Treat. Like I feel like when you get a film like Trick or Treat, it's hard to find anything else that's going to be able to match that. Just the way that is such a well done anthology, the wraparound story, the fact that Sam is now a horror icon, the stories, even how just genuinely horrifying some of them are in ways that you just don't even expect. Like we were talking about the one story with the kids where they get in the bus and the bus goes over and it's the special needs kids and stuff, and how horrifying that whole thing is. It's different when you watch that now as an adult and you're like, well, I'm glad those kids ended up coming back and fucking people up. Good for them. But there's just so many unique moments. I just think it's great. And the fact that he did that and then he went off and he did Krampus, iconic. So, I mean, we gotta love it. And plus, I mean, anytime now, as a horror fan, like you're gonna check your candy. Like that whole scene with like the razor blade and the candy and the lollipop. And yeah, no, check your candy. You might be eating razor blades, check your candy. So I think that's a good example.
I have another
Welcome to
one.
Cassandra's TED Talk.
I have another one real fast. It's like on the lighter side, and I know Paige will agree. But Halloween Town.
Yes.
That's a definite
Yeah.
must.
We rewatched those recently and like They are so cheesy
Yeah.
as adults, but
What
oh my
about
gosh, they're still
my
so good.
what about my mom is dating a vampire? Like that
Yeah.
movie to me is still like the pit, like because all I knew was that was Max Sheffield from the
The
nanny.
Nanny.
And then I'm like, oh shit, he's a vampire. Okay, this is so interesting.
And the little vampire is probably my favorite, like
Yeah.
one, two.
There is another one. It's called, I'll have to, you know what? It's gonna take me a second. Brittany introduced me to it. It is a little bit of a lesser known. I don't know if it was an independent film or not, but it's got a shit ton of like horror people in it. And yes, it's probably not the greatest movie when you come to think about like Halloween movies, like when we're talking about this and stuff, but it's really just fucking interesting if we're being honest. There are some scenes in there. It's called Tales of Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And it's just got it's 10 stories.
Mhm.
It's got a bunch of people like Lynn Shay, you got Adrienne Barbeau, Barry Boswick, Joe Dante, Barbara Crampton, all of these people that just kind of you feel like they were like, okay, we're gonna go do this movie because we're gonna fuck up Halloween. And they just get the calamity that ensues and all of that is just it's just fantastic.
That was a
So
good one.
That's a good
yeah,
one. That's
definitely.
one we
And
watched a few years ago.
huh?
That's one we watched a few years ago, wasn't it? I think we
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah, no. And it's always like I think it's always on Tubi and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
so I know my answer automatically, like on the jump for this, but obviously with spooky season, we get some desserts because then we're rolling into Thanksgiving and we're rolling into Christmas. Cheesecake or pie?
Oh, God.
You have no idea what you just did to him.
Is this Zach's Sophie's choice?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. He's obsessed with my cheesecakes
Oh.
because I bake a ton.
Oh,
But he
okay.
also loves pie. So
I've
I'll
had
go cheesecake.
both where it was, I think it was like a pumpkin or like pecan pie on the bottom, and then it had a cheesecake no bake on top. And yes, it was really good. It was really good. It was very sweet, but it was very good.
Okay, I'm just gonna pop this one off right here. As much as I love pumpkin pie, I do, but fucking cheesecake, like Cheesecake Factory can steal my soul right now, and I'd be fine with it.
Plus,
So
Oh,
pumpkin cheesecake is amazing.
Oh
So,
yes.
best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
Have you had pumpkin cheesecake dip where you eat it with the graham crackers?
Oh yeah, that is so good.
Yeah, I made it last year. Oh yeah, it was really good.
oh, this one. Gosh,
so
that's
Zane,
hard.
Zane, we'll go to Zane. Zane,
Yeah.
cheesecake or pie?
Cheesecake. I like a good cheesecake. Even a
Hey.
bad cheesecake is better than a
No cheesecake.
Yeah.
Paige, what about you?
Yeah.
Cheesecake?
I'm gonna go cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Zach, you're the last one.
I'll take them both, but yeah, I'll take cheesecake. I
Okay.
will literally take them both stacked on top of each other. I don't care.
Right.
Create it. Just, it's a cheesecake pie sandwich now.
Yeah,
That's what
There you
it
go.
is.
that's what I want.
Okay, so this year, Thrills, Chills, and Kills, the film festival is the 29th, 30th, and 31st, right?
Yes.
Wait, I gotta look at my own count.
Wait.
30th, 31st, and 1st. of
Okay,
October.
so 31st, 30th, 31st, and 1st. I was close
There's
enough.
no 31st in September. It's
Oh,
29th, 30th, and 1st.
Oh,
That was
cool.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
That's the
Who
I
that's
actually
swear,
did
I
what's
swear
screwing
we're
everyone up.
professionals, okay? I
Yeah.
swear we're
We're,
professionals.
we're professional something.
Oh, yeah.
20
That-
so 29th, 30th, and the 1st.
Yeah.
I had
So,
some.
and just like last year, it is free, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So the ticket information will be in the description box down below. We'll be pumping that out for Thrills, Chills, and Kills a couple weeks prior to get started. It's kind of crazy that you guys are having one of the nights as the 30th, because that's actually the anniversary of the podcast. So that we will be 2 years on the 30th, which is, I mean, I can't imagine any better way than logging in and chilling out with Thrills, Chills, and Kills. So lineup, I mean,
Mhm.
first we got to get this out the way. Have there been any crazy ones? We got some stories last year.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me just open up this tab on my computer of the some of the crazy ones, because we had a few, not as crazy as the ones that we talked about last year. I don't
By
think.
that
Better.
he means no porn this year.
Okay.
Not
I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, Kylie, that was
no
a
adult
legitimate thing.
scenes.
Like somebody actually tried to submit a porn film to this film festival.
4 minutes. It was an entire 4 minutes. It was like nuns and all. It was crazy.
I remember now.
I do too when he said that. You know what's even crazier though, Zach, is I'm going to tell you, Jim works with somebody and is friends with somebody that on his motorcycle has some
Yeah.
pretty interesting nun imagery that probably would match that submission. So
Yeah.
they have an audience at least.
Probably the writer of the film.
And he lets in the demon.
Don't just stop. Stop.
Come in.
Stop it.
Nobody.
They let in the cat. They also have a Himalayan Persian. And yeah, our cats need to be besties. It's just my cat that's being the fucking holdout with that. Sorry. She's a real mercurial bitch. Honestly. So yeah, so what are the crazy ones this year? That's what we want to, I mean, like we want to know it
our
all,
juicy tidbit.
but we want to know like those ones specifically.
Probably
So
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So we had this one. It was a feature. It looked like it had promise, but it kind of reminded us of like a cult movie in the woods mixed with wild hogs. You know, the old man biker. Yeah, because they were like in the description, it's like badass biker gang, and they're all like 65 years old in the movie, and like
AARP gang.
I'm like, wait a minute, we're supposed to take these people seriously?
Maybe they're skinwalkers. Dun
Maybe.
dun dun.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh my gosh. There's the best part about it, especially for the weird ones, is that for a couple of weeks of August, the beginning of August, like right there at the beginning, we were at my parents in Kentucky
Oh no.
while we were finishing watching the submissions. So we're like, okay, we'll let my parents watch.
Yeah.
My dad was the most cold-hearted judge. And so Zach started judging the films on whether or not my dad actually liked them.
Oh,
Because yeah,
he was mean. Like
he was like old school American Idol Simon Cowell. That
Those were the best times.
yeah, we had some weird ones. Like we had some that were just like faded
Odd.
black and white and like super high, like the contrast was all messed up and the saturation was super high.
Oh yeah, the film school I didn't know this and probably I should have. but apparently that's a film school technique. We just did a collab. Well, I did a collab. I was like, guys, I'll take this one for the team. Because I watched Sharkula. You heard that right, Sharkula.
We did
We
too.
did too.
Okay, so you know the parts where they're trying to make it look like it's dark, but it's
Yeah.
light.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? And that's when the guy that we did the collab with, it's the Bucket of Chum podcast, and he has a horror podcast that's about shark movies, like horror comedies, and ones that really honestly will just give you the shits and giggles. So I didn't realize that was a film school technique, but he went to film school, so he told me about that, and I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense now. I'm still questioning it, but it made sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a Hansel and Gretel. It was a feature, but it was weird because you can tell they shot it, and then after they filmed it, they went and redid the whole movie in a filter that completely changed everything to the point where you can barely see anyone in the movie. And it was really weird because it was just swirling effects and everybody was like animated by a filter. It just gave me a headache.
I'm trying to think.
You smell like drama and a headache. Please step away.
Yeah, I'm still confused on yeah, like did they try to put it on TikTok and have help that way? I don't know.
It was a really hard filter. They tried to make everyone animated and it did not work.
Yeah, I don't even understand how that would have worked. I guess.
But we do have I guess the main event of Weird Ones, and I'm pretty sure Paige knows what's coming. So we had a short called Frog Pimp.
Oh my gosh.
Frog.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Frog pimp.
Oh my
Frog pimp.
Oh goodness. Okay. So Frog Pimp was this guy. He walked around with
Frog pimp.
He walked around with a frog hat, and every time someone acknowledged he had a frog hat, he would deny it the whole movie. And he was a pimp, and everyone else wore frog hats, and it was like really weird. I think it was only like 10 minutes or
We just watched the whole thing and kept waiting for it to be something, but it never really happened, and it was
Why
just
am I picturing Kermit the Frog walking around
That's
with the
probably
Pimp Daddy
Kermit.
cane?
That's probably Kermit the Frog's like long lost cousin that got cut off because he kept trying to make the Muppets a porno.
probably.
Probably.
And
My God.
Whoa. Okay.
It had a narrator, and it was so weird. It was just
It had a narrator. What?
yeah.
oh
It was
yeah.
the whole
It was
film.
made documentary style, like they were making a documentary about Frog Pimp.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And at the very end, he gets stabbed and dies. That's
Plot
As
twist.
as he should. Because Frog Pimp? No.
All the ladies were tired of having to wear those frog hats, and I guess they just had to overthrow them.
and he's like, we don't have frog hats. What are you talking about? Yeah, you do. You've had it on for 16 minutes.
Wow.
Such a strange movie.
Okay,
Had to
so
be the weirdest one.
now that we got, the frog pimps. Oh my gosh, Zane, you know what that makes me think of?
Frog leg.
That frog movie that Nye from that Nye had us watch for our B horror movie ones.
Where
And
nature fights back.
yeah, and Zane was like, so
I
Coachella.
was
So he
typing up
literally put he was like,
synopsises of these movies and because I'm like, okay, I'm giving the Cliff Note version of this long And I'm just like, so this is basically Coachella with animals, and animals win over the stupid scientists or
Yeah,
something
like
like that.
blood sucking frogs. Like
Yeah.
Right.
wow. Okay, well, I didn't think anything was going to top that, but Frog Pimp.
Oh,
Those pimps need money too. Frogs need money too for more lily pads.
it was
So it's a hard life when you're an
It's a hard
amphibian.
not life for us.
So so we need to get in the blocks because obviously we have a couple days. We need to know what's going on. I always want to know like what's the one we really need to look out for. Like I know last year Paige had kind of talked about like the good for her kind of block with the woman empowerment, which I think was really cool. What is the block to watch out for this year?
Okay, the block to watch out for this year, I think, is going to come in just from one simple film is going to be, and we actually we've named a lot of the blocks, but we've not quite named this one yet. But it's going to be a couple themed block. So it's got a couple of date horror shorts and then one sort of home invasion, but not psychological feature length film involving a couple. And all I'm going to say is the couple starts out, it's their first night of being homeless. They have lost their apartment. The wife had been supporting them for a long time, and the husband had been supposed to be finishing this book and starting to contribute, and then she just couldn't keep up with anything, and it's their first night homeless, and then things take a turn from there. And people come from the woods.
Like from
Yeah.
Oh shit.
yeah. It's like
It is the best feature. I mean, I shouldn't say I shouldn't, but it is the best feature this
for
year
a couple.
for
Like the couple category block.
I think it's the
yeah,
one of the best films
it's my
I've ever
favorite of
seen.
the whole festival.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Amazing. But I mean, I'm not saying it's going to win best feature because obviously that's up to our judges.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to get the films, but for my personal best feature, it's amazing. It is it's called Ghosts of the Void.
Ooh.
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 It's like strangers, but in a car.
Oh. Oh. I need to see this now. I need to see this.
Wonderful. Very good. Very good movie.
Oh, yeah. It was our second highest film in terms of budget film submitted. The first highest did not make it actually. This
Yeah.
was a $900,000 budget film. The 3 million didn't make it. It was not good. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Word to the wise, you don't need a huge budget to make a good film.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's
just
because-
like Halloween was like on a what, $100,000 budget, and
well, I
it
was about to
spawned
say,
a franchise.
look at Skidamarink. That just happened recently. That was
Mhm.
made on $15,000. And whether
yeah.
people got that film or didn't, I mean, that got sold for what, like $3 million to Shudder
Exactly.
as an
Exactly.
exclusive. And even if people didn't understand it, the way that they shot that film and the way they did certain things with that for $15,000,
Mhm.
they deserve an award.
Oh yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to point that out, is because I think a lot of people think that, when they're making films or even when they're submitting to festivals and stuff, that they've got to have these like top tier budgets, and some of the best that we've ever had have been really low budget.
Mhm.
You can have good quality on a
Right.
budget for sure.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Like, I mean, we have so many people on that make good films that literally don't have crazy budgets. It's just people who have moxie. I mean, it's the way that you film things. I mean, I always refer to Gavin just because he's one of the few that I've really seen that like he turns so little into something so big, especially with Last Call and how they were like when we talked to him, the way that they had to simultaneously shoot both of those at the same time, and if one person fudges up that whole entire time, the whole thing's fucked.
Oh yeah.
That is a huge feat. So I think people think, okay, well, if it has this money and that, it'll do good. No, I think it comes down to the story. It comes down to the way that yeah, and people who really like, if you know that somebody's putting their heart and soul into it, you can tell the difference
Oh, for
between somebody
sure.
who's just trying to make this movie happen.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Zach's first was literally $0 budget. He had everything that he used already, and I
Yeah.
love it. But I'm not even just a little biased, maybe.
I mean, you're allowed to be. You're his wife. I mean, I'm sure people give that to Gavin and Sarah too, but Sarah's fucking talented as shit. Like, she definitely is. And that's part of the talent. So it's not because Gavin puts her in all of his films, because he doesn't, but his films are good because of that.
Hello, horror fans. I'm dipping into this episode really quick to remind you that the link for the tickets is down below in the caption of this episode, along with the schedule. And we strongly encourage you to at least try to watch some of this, because the fact that this is absolutely free and you're getting such an amazing smattering of just amazing content from such wonderful voices is beyond amazing. So please check that out. And also, we are still doing our giveaway for the Changeling. That will be going on for the next 2 weeks. Look for the post. It will be post this Sunday, and comment on it, like, make sure you're subscribed. That's it. Be subscribed to the Horrorcraft Podcast Instagram page. Like the post when it posts this Sunday. It'll probably be this Sunday at 7 p.m. and it'll run for 2 weeks. All you have to do once you've completed these steps is hit done. On the underneath the picture, just put done with like a check mark or done, and you're entered. So may the odds forever be in your favor, and no crazy stall competition stuff. So let's get back to the episode. Bye. Bye.
All right, guys, we're back after some technical issues. Kylie had to dip out for a little bit, unfortunately. Huh?
So the aliens took her.
They did. You know, she keeps fucking with them, saying, "Hey, I'm outside waiting for you guys. Take me."
They took up her
and they
offer.
they took her up. But she will manifest in possibly a segment that will get sliced into this. But we're back, and as we were talking off screen, I wanted to know, obviously, about holiday horror, because that just tingles my little spine. And I was pleased to be informed that there is one, right, Zach?
Yes. Yeah, there's a holiday block. It's called Hell of a Holiday. We actually did have a good name for that one.
Naming blocks is my favorite part. I love naming the blocks.
Right? That sounds like so much fun. You get to have like fun wordplay and
I mean, we do that with episodes.
yeah.
Fun.
Well, you do that. I just approve them. Sure, that sounds good.
It's collaborative.
It's collaborative.
So yeah, we have 4 films in this block. 2 of them are Halloween, around Halloween time. 1 is 4th of July, and 1 is Christmas. And there's a lot of interesting things in this block. Like we have a film called Slash a Lantern Part 2, and we had Part 1 2 years ago, and so Part 2 was supposed to be in last year's, and there was some it wasn't finished in time, and it was finished like right after we got done with the film festival.
Right.
And so it didn't get to be in last year's, but it is definitely in this year's. We have Jingle Hell, which is Christmas.
And it's got Tyler Beveridge, who's a friend of the podcast, who is a producer and an actor in it. And if you have not gotten a chance to see the images, I will post their
The
official.
images are crazy good.
Oh, the killer.
The poster, the poster is
Poster is
amazing.
amazing.
I know. I want to be like, Tyler, if I sell you my soul, will you send me one of those posters and you sign it? I don't know how much my soul is worth to you, but
$24.99. The
but
cost of
no,
shipping.
if you have not heard about it, I will link down below where you can find their official page. I know like they have an official Instagram and the images are just great. Tyler is a wonderful human being and is somebody again that I've met through Clubhouse, through Angie, and just kind of part of the crew that we walked with during COVID. And I love holiday horror. So when he said he was doing a Christmas slasher, sign me up, bitch. Sign me up.
So good. So
Yes.
good.
So good.
We
So
have
4th of July.
Yeah, so here's a twist with the 4th of July because it's not just 4th of July, it is also a fan film of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So it is called Your Last Summer. And
Oh.
yeah, so it's a fan film. We have off the top of my head 2 fan films this year. And yeah, this one
It's also an LGBTQ one, and I really wanted to do a block, but we don't get enough submitted of it for some reason. So if you're listening at some point and you have LGBTQ horror films, maybe submit them next time.
yes. We have a few, but yeah, we like
I
if we
want to do a
put
block
them-
so bad.
Let's make this happen. Come on, people.
Submit.
Or else Zane and I are gonna make one, and it may not be the best, but hey, we'll start it. We'll start the trend.
Yeah, it's a
So-
very good one. It's like 17 minutes. And
Oh, and especially like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but LGBTQ plus style.
mhm.
Yeah,
Spicy.
I mean, let's be honest. The only person on there that was probably not part of the LGBTQ plus mafia is Freddie Prinze Jr. and he ended up with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Anyways, so we're good. We're good. So what's the other fan film?
So we have in another block. So a couple years ago, we did a block with like 3 features that
Mhm.
all kind of had, so we did that again this year. And so that one is Midnight Bloodshed. It is Friday the 13th, another one. So this one's a little different because it is heavy, very heavy on the campiness. It is good, campy, schlocky fun.
So
like-
Sleepaway Camp, but
Yeah,
Friday the 13th.
this one is 2 hours. It's like almost 2 hours. So
Well,
there's
shit.
a scene like at the beginning where they're at a gas station, and we love to make fun of it, but
Oh, yeah.
it's a great movie. But there's a scene at the gas station where everybody's just talking and everything's kind of happening, where they just are there for like 35 minutes, and you're like, are they ever gonna leave this gas station? Ever? But it's fun. It's not like it takes away. It definitely doesn't.
It doesn't, but it was interesting. It was really good world building, I guess.
That's good. The only reason I ask is because I know Zach brought this up last year about Rick Danford, but I know Rick Danford has done a couple of them, which he's done fantastic at. So I just
Mhm.
wondered if he had submitted one. But I also don't know if he had like finished them. He's been like
Oh yeah.
bing bang boom, like cranking them out. So I'm sure he just probably didn't have time. So
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't even share that block name while you were reading that
Oh,
off.
yeah. I guess since I named one of the three, I'll get into the whole block. So it's the three-headed slash attack. We kind of took names from like schlocky shark movies. Uh, because all three of these movies kind of have one thing in common where they're a lot of it has to do with outside for one, and they're all slashers, and they're all very campy and very in the same vein of one another. And so we have Midnight Bloodshed is that one, and then we have Rise of the Crimson Butcher, and it has more culty stuff in with it. And then we have another one called Camp Smokey with a director that we've had in every single full film fest. So yeah, 2 years
Freaking love
ago
Diddy.
we had The Hike, and then last year we had WJHC FM, and now this one is Camp Smokey, and this one's like demons and camp like demons and slasher all put together.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, what about the female empowerment? We need to know this
Yes.
right now.
Oh, we have this year it's
A
back.
good,
We went back to year before last name for this block, so it's the Killer Queens block again.
this one's
Ooh.
like supersized block, like it's loaded. It's
Yeah.
Go
It's like about an hour and a half before we add in the intros for that block of good. It's because it's all shorts, but the first one is It Got Bloody, and that one's a micro short. It's like 3 minutes and 37 seconds, and it's fantastic. The next one is A Slice of Heaven, and that one is this guy, this very much older gentleman, has like basically a sugar baby, and her mom keeps calling because she's not answering her phone, and she's always away on vacation or whatever, anything. And finally someone comes to do calls in a well check on her, the police do, because someone across the street's been noticing a smell, and there's a fun twist there. And
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
good
the
for
next-
her.
the next is Restless, and it was like seriously badass acting in that one, is all I'm gonna say. And then we have Fake. And that one is a woman that is an influencer and super obsessed with her image. But then weird things start happening when her phone breaks and she has to turn it in to be fixed, basically. And then there's Boxed, which is super psychological, which we do have a separate psychological film as well, but that one was just a fantastic. And then Once Upon a Midnight is really great, super powerful. There's some spirit action in there. Then we have two more in that block, Anya. And we have this thing where we put we have a Trello board where we put like our first impressions and then block ideas as we're watching, because obviously remembering from the beginning of the season to the end when we're blocking things out is just no. So on Zach's notes for this one, he put "that fucker got what he deserved." So that was the note that he put in there.
damn right he did.
So I'm gonna say about that one. And then there's Girl Talk, and it was that one was hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. But yeah, there's a lot of badass stuff, and there's a couple other films we have in other categories that would have fit that block too. So there's definitely high women's power type horror this year for sure.
good.
That makes me super excited. I'm always super excited to see films like that being submitted, especially to this. Just because I feel like the horror genre is a genre that kind of women can play around and experiment with, but there's such a low level of women that are behind the scenes with like directing, editing, and stuff like that. that I feel like we just need to do more.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like there needs to be more voices and more takes and stuff like that, that I just feel like people need to, we need to amp it up. We need to, pump those numbers up. So I'm glad to see that. What is your guys' favorite block? I mean, I know we probably have already touched on one or two that you guys have liked, but
I I got a good one.
Mhm.
Do you have one?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a comedy block.
Oh.
It's only four films, and it's almost an hour long. Oh, these are so different from each other, and they're so like
This
it will
one's
definitely lighten up,
yeah.
the schedule because we have Kevin from Another World, and it's a micro, and Kevin is a cat.
Giant cat,
He's an alien cat,
outer space. Yeah.
and
Amazing.
you can tell the budget was not super high, at all, but and the cat just makes the entire
Oh.
movie.
We asked them to send stills and stuff when they get their selection email. And so when she sent me stills, it was just pictures of the actual cat that she has, basically like in a director's chair and stuff. It's amazing.
we
It's black
need
and white.
marketing on this. We need
Yes.
marketing.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Like, yeah. I mean, cats. We need more cat horror.
Yes.
And then we have Demon for Hire, which is kind of like Muppets, but there's only one puppet, and he's the main demon, and he's also like a detective. And so he,
Okay.
and so it's great because he kind of sounds like he's in an Italian mob, like he's like a mob boss, but he's a demon and he has a hat and he has the jacket and cigarettes and then he
Bas-
like turns his eyes red when he gets all pissed off.
Basically, that one dummy that's in the Goosebumps episode. I think it's like the last Slappy one where they turn him in, and it's the mafia one. Yeah, watch way too.
Ironically he's investigating a missing cat in that one.
Yeah, he is. He really is. I didn't even think about it whenever we had it in there. I was like, you're right.
I mean, that's worthy endeavor right there. Worthy.
So then we have Open House, which Open House is a little different because it's way more comedy than it actually is horror. It's a very light thriller, I guess we would say, but heavy on comedy. And it's about a couple trying to get the house that they want and trying to do anything they can to convince another couple to not get the house any means necessary.
Well, shit. There goes the neighborhood.
And then we have a longer, probably I think it's the longest one of this block. It's I Married a Mummy, and it's a very black and white sitcom type. It's very
Dan,
sitcom-y, and oh yeah, there's a good mummy.
it sounds like oh God, Under Wraps from the Disney Channel, but horror edition.
Yeah, it kind of is like you add that and then add some more comedy and then you make it black and white and kind of looks like it's a lot older than it is. It's great.
I like it.
It's very good. So that block is always fun because I love comedy and
Oh, horror comedy. I hate how people are like, I can't take it seriously if it's comedic. I'm like, go watch the movies. Like, don't say every movie is, because there are some where I could argue that maybe that wasn't the best choice, but like Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
yes.
I mean, that's just so like Zane has not seen that yet, but like the whole like where the whole time they're like thinking, oh, these guys are trying to kill us. And these guys are just like, like Garth and Wayne from Wayne's World, but it out in a cabin, and they're just kind of like, oh, okay, we're doing our thing. Zane, you're gonna watch it anyways, but yeah, to preface this, there is a scene in that movie where one of the people is arguing with one of the main characters, and he's just trying to be this like nice guy, and he's trying to like calm him down, and the guy unintentionally like yeets himself into a wood chipper and kills himself, and they think that he did it. So yeah, and that's the theme for the whole movie. But like you see that with like Renfield. Renfield was a horror comedy. Like Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Wow. So horror comedy, yeah. I want to see the Mummy one. That sounds I'm a
good.
Mummy fan, and I feel like there are not enough movies that like take advantage of mummies
They
in
really
the
are.
sense of how scary that can be. Probably because like I mean, once you hit the pinnacle that the 1999 The Mummy with Brendan Fraser hit, I mean, yeah. So I see that meme all the time of my sexual preference as the cast of the 1999 Mummy movie. Same. Same. So yeah, so I'm glad that people are like venturing out. Give me some creature features. Do we have any good creature features this year?
Oh yes, we do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we have a block that we titled Aliens and Arachnids.
You lost her.
Yeah, you had me in the first part, and then I was like, bye.
Our main creature feature this year has 8 legs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And yeah. It is
You really lost her now.
Well,
my brother is
remember,
like, I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
yeah, remember, the spider that they used in the shots for the big spiders in Arachnophobia are the spiders that are just chilling out naturally in the mountains of Colorado. So imagine coming up upon one of those when you're just trying to visit your family and finding out that tarantulas nest. People tell me that I'm full of shit all the time. They do nest. They have like webs and their little nest and stuff there, and they are in the corners of everywhere. Like, please, no. So, I mean, the only reason I watched Eight-Legged Freaks is because of David Arquette. And even then, I still felt like I couldn't wipe the just grossness off me with like 25 showers. So spiders, no. Aliens though, I can fuck with a good alien. Like come get me, bitch. I'm tired of this world anyways. Like pick me and my family up. I'll put the beacon up. As long as
Yeah.
you're not a xenomorph. I mean, even then, I feel like xenomorphs kind of just really fucked with people who were fucking stupid. Except for the second movie. Like, rest in peace, most of the cast of the second Alien movies. So, but so I'm really afraid to ask, but what is the arachnid movie?
So it's called The Weaver. Apparently Zach's first impressions on that one was, excuse language, and holy fucking shit, that was great. And also animal / crazy lady.
I hate spiders, but I love this because I don't know. There's something about this movie that was really
It
good.
was okay. So this guy shows up and he's like a home health nurse basically, and he's there to assist this older lady. And basically she starts talking about her family and stuff and how she still wants to have more children. And he's like, well, I mean, I understand you mean grandchildren. And she's like, no, I want to have more children. And he's like, I mean, oh yeah, sure, grandma, you know. And she's like, no, everything still works down there. Do you want to see? Yeah. And
Oh my god, like the fucking episode from Hercules with the spider.
yeah, she wanted to get with him to make more babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from Norway, so that's a little different twist on it too.
I'm intrigued yet deeply horrified and wanting to just rip my own reproductive system out at the same time. Just thinking about this. But okay.
Well,
I mean, that's the emotions these films are supposed to
To
elicit.
each their own.
Yeah.
To each their own, if you want
Oh
to.
yeah, creepy crawlies. Oh yeah, are my thing too. But yeah, it was good
Paige,
anyways.
Paige's poor brother, who's right there, right
Beside me
beside her.
right now, actually.
He I don't know if he's yet to forgive me. I doubt it.
Have you forgiven Zach? Nope. He said no.
No.
Zach, I feel bad, but justified.
Yeah, I know.
But okay, Alien. Talk aliens to me.
Okay, so that one is called Awake. And it's a really fun concept. It feels almost like trippy.
Ooh.
Wouldn't you say, Zach?
So like Mandy.
Kinda. Yeah, it definitely has like a trippy bit to it, and it is we didn't really know what to expect going in, and we were surprised.
So
Like,
there's some films we get and it says so little about them and everything, and what it says, maybe we're just like go in thinking, I'm not sure if this is gonna be good. So, and it's always great when there's ones you go into with absolutely low expectations and then it's like, oh wow, this is really good.
Right.
But I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I like that you got like
There's
everything
such
gets
a
a
wide diverse of submissions, and that's like such a good thing that people are exploring their creative sides and actually is like keeping the like you get to see the progression, like you said, how you had a returning director. You get to see their work and as it evolves with them, so does their directing skills.
mhm.
It really does too. Yeah, seeing the growth is always really fun, especially seeing people that, and it's always good that it for me, what I want, like one part that I really love doing this is that we know that we're helping the filmmakers get their films out there, get them seen more. And then so when people come back with another film, that just is really tells me that they really enjoy what we have done. So it makes you like it's a lot of work to put together every year. I mean, hours upon hours, not just watching the films, putting it all together, everything. And it's just really good to know that it really is benefiting the films enough that they want to come back.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we personally know, like Zane and I, from all the like hard work and effort that we put just into this,
Oh
and
yeah.
really getting into the meat and bones of things, and trying to do them.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and then having people want to come back and do something else, maybe a deep dive, maybe they're doing something new that they want to share with us, like you guys with the festival. Like this is like a yearly thing now for us, and
Yeah, which is cool
which
because
is really cool because I get introduced into the like a wide array of films, whether it's homemade, whether it's a company that's being backing it, or it's really cool just to see all the different types of films that are being created.
I think it does. And I think what's really cool about it too is for us, kind of, I more or less like following the trends that are getting set by the independent films versus the bigger studio films. Cause like we see that right now with the writer strike and how things are kind of devolving with that. But it's really the independent directors and especially the horror genre that's going to kind of get us through this because there's so many people that are really realizing it doesn't take much to make a good film. Like you said, you guys passed on a $3 million film. Like that says something right there. And I understand that because we've, there are movies that we've watched that are big budget films that make absolutely no sense. But then you get somebody who literally just invested their savings and is trying to get the word out on that and kind of just go from there. And I think that that's such a beautiful testament to the horror industry. So I love that films like this give that a platform because these are great movies. And a lot of the movies that we love started out as smaller movies as well.
Oh yeah.
So I really like that. So yeah, creature feet. Do we have any vampires? I guess that's what I should need to know.
I wish.
Yeah, I don't think we had many this year.
We
Trying to
have
think.
in past
I think there
years,
was,
but one last year.
yeah.
But
we
we
get
did
any?
not have any vampires, sadly.
Did we get any werewolves for Zach? Dang it.
Those are always hard. Like every year, it is like nothing. It's like,
Well, I think it's the transformation scenes, honestly. Like for
yeah.
both, like vampire transformations and werewolf transformations are hard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, that really can be a make or break with a horror
Mhm.
movie. So what are some other films that we need to know about before
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of wrap this up?
For what we're lacking in the creature feature, we definitely make up for in demonic and spooky ghosty types. So
Yay, those
we
are my
have-
favorite.
we have a demonic block, and that has one called Tarot, and it's a micro short.
Ooh.
And then we have the Gnomon, which is like sort of a price of fame type demonic thing.
Oh,
And then that block closes out with the feature a death metal, and it is basically like this band goes in to record this song, but a death metal album, but the death metal album basically turns them into getting possessed by demons. Anyone who listens, basically.
I like it. I
I
like
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good like concept to kind of build upon. Um, I feel like this is about to be a spicy take, but not so spicy. I think we can collectively agree American Horror Story the last couple of years have just kind of
Yeah.
which is fine because as Angie says, there's Channel Zero, we have Slasher now that's going through AMC. And I think they do a fantastic job. Like Slasher this year was Jack the Ripper themed, and that was some shit. I'll be frankly honest. That was some shit. I've seen some shit, and that was some shit. You heard it here from me. That was some shit. But my favorite one of American Horror Story is I like how they've done the American Horror Stories because there have been a few that have been really good. But my absolute favorite one is the one they did with the drive-in with the movie that kills people. And that's what that reminds me of on
Yes,
a
I
better
love that one.
level.
Yeah, I liked once they started doing American Horror Stories, I liked it more than American Horror Story the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, because I just feel like, okay, I feel like they have a Stephen King problem, if you know what I mean. They have a problem where they're starting off really good, but then when we come back to wrap it up, it ain't doing too well. Where I think the stories are good. And that one, the drive-in one, has Kim Petras playing at the end of it, which I mean, like, Stan right away. Like, There Will Be Blood is playing. Like, people are about to get fucking murdered. So good for them. But I do like that better. But I also feel like it's a sign of the times. American Horror Story came out in a time when there wasn't much horror television. We've seen a big revitalization of that since then. I think there are just so many more like from Channel Zero, Slasher. I mean, just so many different ones that aren't
Yeah.
The Walking Dead as well, even if you
Right.
are the fan of The Walking Dead. But like, you know, we just got the Anne Rice universe with AMC,
I'm
with
so excited for that.
I know, with Interview with the Vampire, and then obviously Mayfair
I was
Witches.
more with the Mayfair Witches, but
I liked Interview with the Vampire, but that was because I felt like that
it
Interview
was
with
more
the
true
Yeah,
to
that had
Anne
more
Rice.
teeth. So, but I mean, like they're gonna do a lot more with that, and I'm excited because like they're just gonna utilize it so much better. So I feel like American Horror Story they kind of kept the same formula, and that's not gonna work when you have other things that are
They
just
didn't
kind of killing it.
evolve their stories as well as they should have, with, like you said, with the different kind of media, with the different kind of shows that are out now.
Especially
There
when
are other
you're trying to get in
Yeah.
competition with Hill House, and Mike Flanagan normally is cranking stuff out around that time of the year as well. That's stiff competition. So, I mean, you really got to do something to kind of go up against Mike Flanagan. Like, hey, you know, I don't know, but yeah, that sounds amazing. So tarot sounds good too.
yes.
What are the other ones that are in the block?
So that was that block because
Uh-huh.
and then we have another block that's more apocalyptic,
Ooh.
but it has another a feature in it that's kind of got that satanic feel to it too. It's called Spin the Wheel, and it's basically a game, but they're playing basically it's picture the devil went down to Georgia, but instead of a fiddle match, they're making them play a game of Russian roulette.
Like
Okay.
Russian roulette with a gun?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
Oh,
with the devil,
with the devil.
who kind of looks like David Tennant.
A little
You know,
bit. He does. He has like a little bit of a David Tennant look. The actor does.
I guess I'm going to hell. I before we even start that game, I would be like, well, you're kind of cute.
Really, do you need a
Do you need an
partner?
assistant?
Need a partner?
Do you need somebody to help?
I can do
Um,
other things.
I'm a little, yeah.
That one.
Who would want to
that
get
one-
in a game with the devil in the first place, especially Russian roulette? Like,
well, like the world is ending outside, and so they're all in a bar, and it's like to save the world,
oh,
beat me in this game.
Mhm.
yeah, sorry guys, I'm not the one for that. The world's fucked.
And we do have a psychological horror block,
Ooh.
psychological thriller filling block this year too. So it's called Totally Twisted, and it has some really good ones on there. There's a micro short.
I like the good twisty kind of psychological.
I will read slice roller, but not really. One of those I will read Zach's note from it. That damn
Crazy
tooth
notes.
scene.
What was that page?
That damn tooth scene. It was all he said about that one. And, yeah, that was painful.
Ugh.
Yeah.
This one, there was one called Enter the Room. It's like, God, I just don't want to say. It's super. It's got an amazing twist. It's basically what grief can do to the mind, and it
Ooh.
is, yeah, fantastic.
I
And
like how we kind of can use those as those kind of movies.
Mhm.
So, I feel like grief is paired well with something like that. That was just my random thought, my 2
oh,
cents. Sorry.
definitely,
It's
definitely. I agree, and that's yeah. And then there's a couple others in that block that, like the yellow balloon. It's the tension and sound in that one is amazing, and Somnus Part 1 is in that block, and it's the cinematography, the sound of that one is just next level good.
yeah, those were
Like I'm
Very.
trying to say what I can say without spoiling the films here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Like you
because
don't want
the
to give it away
psychological
too
part
much.
is always like the twist. So it's hard, like, how do I describe these
Yeah.
psychological films
Yeah.
without giving them away? But
Very
yeah, just
twisty.
Mhm.
basically each and every one of them, we have something like that fucking twist in our notes. So yeah.
Twisty like a Twizzler.
I mean, I get that definitely. The reason why I was bringing that up is, like I said, we just did the Changeling last week, and I honestly forgot how solid of a film that is, just purely for the fact of it. It does so little with, I mean, so much with so little. That really, honestly, is like we were talking about it because of the fact that Brinley, my Himalayan, she got the zoomies in the middle of one of the scenes in the last 20 minutes. And it's a scene where the wheelchair flips and it starts coming after the person. And I got freaked out. But like for a good part of that movie, you really feel like that person is out of his fucking mind. Like this man just lost his whole family. He's making this up. It's nothing. And then when you realize like he actually is getting to like the meat and potatoes of this whole crazy like conspiracy thing, it fucks with you. You're like, whoa, how the fuck did that happen? And when you start really piecing it together, and the last 20 minutes, that shit really goes down. But I mean, films like that, they are able to tackle on like grief, trauma, like all these different levels that maybe some other films can't necessarily get away with as well because of the fact that you're kind of playing on people's minds.
Yeah.
And tacking on to that, yeah, memory is another good, yeah, I will say it comes into play on one of those. And
Mhm.
memory is something that I think is really fun to play with in horror because is there anything really more scary than losing like a sense or your memory, like not remembering things
Yeah.
that you think, remembering things differently, like it can really screw you up. So I like seeing when people can do good takes of that on screen.
Yeah, definitely. There is a really I'll put it down in the description as well. There's this movie, and it probably is because it's like a Lifetime movie, but I like it because of the one actor that's in it, and I think it's based on a true story. But this man and his wife get divorced, and he gives the house to his wife. They get divorced, and everything's going on. Well, all these things happen. Come to find out, that man has been living in that house the whole entire time, making her think that all these things are happening and it's her new boyfriend and stuff like that, when really it's him. And so it's just one of those things that make you think about people. And like I said, I can't confirm whether or not it's true, but it says it's true. It's Lifetime. Who knows? We'll take them at their word.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, can you imagine not remembering who somebody is? And if that's the person that actually did something to you to put you in a situation, like hospitalize you or something like that, and all of a sudden you don't remember and you just think it's this person who's being sweet and nice to you, then all of a sudden your memory returns and that's the person that hurt you the most. That's some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That is.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that's a whole other level of horror, completely. So what if you had to sum up the film festival this year in one word, how would you say it? Or even a sentence?
One word is hard, but I would say in one word, if I had to, I would say strong because I feel like we didn't select as many films this year as we did last year, but the ones we selected are really like strong and well done and for the reasons that we selected them. Obviously the comedy are like, more tongue in cheek, but like overall the quality is super strong, I think.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. One word would be. I would actually. I'd say different because in the past we've had, like Paige said, like 70, 80 films, and this year we still had a ton of films submitted, but we selected 47. 47 was, or the total at the end, and it's I think it's because the films were different from what we've ever had submitted. We've had some that we've never seen anything like it before, and we've had some from directors that we've had in the past, and we've had some from directors in the past that we passed on. And this year, we have a director last year had a feature and we passed on it, and now he did 2 features and we selected both of them. And so it's just, each year's different from each other, and this one feels like the most different of them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I like the fact also too that, I mean, I know obviously you guys have plans to go to in person soon, which we'll get about that in a little bit, but the fact that this is so easily accessible when a lot of other film festivals are not, and the fact that this is on the level that it is, I think makes this so unique, because you have such a diverse group of people that submit these films and get selected. And it really does, like I said, it's really nice for us too, as fellow horror creators, that we kind of see where people's minds are at this year. And we know what kind of to look out for, what we need to pay attention to, what we need to be searching for, and really how we can amplify those voices, because this is the future, like, in a time period right now where we're all scared about how technology is going to change the way that we have our films and the way that we're able to create and be creative. It's nice to have this and know that there are so many different people who are doing things in different ways, and that you get a chance to kind of preview that and see that before it really starts going in a direction. So I really like that. So as last year, Zach, how do you get onto the film festival?
So yes,
Like to
so
view it. Sorry, I should have said.
no, you're
like,
fine. You're fine. So it's kind of it's a little different this year, but not really. So we've had a company called Binge Wave the last 3 years, and it's the same company, just with a different name. And off the top of my head, it is called. It messed me up the other day when I changed it. Uh, in Virtue, I think it's how you pronounce it. It's going to be the same exact way, so there will be a link, and so the link is for all 3 days, and so you don't have to do it 3 separate times. You only have to do it once, and then you tune in the first block and watch it all the way. It should be, I think it's like 23 hours total this year throughout 3 days. And so it's just that website. If you've never done it before, it's just an email, and they'll remind you 24 hours before the first day and the second day and the third day. And it's very easy. Last year we had some issues with Apple.
But I have an Apple computer now, so we're gonna test ahead of time to make sure everything's running smoothly. So, but for some reason, Safari viewers had some issues last year.
so we'll keep everyone updated on that. And as always, we will post the information and the link down below. What is different is this year you will actually be able to see the interview that you are hearing right now on our YouTube channel. This is one of the ones that's going to be taking the jump. So you'll see all of our crazy expressions, and people are probably going to be like, what the fuck are those people doing? Like, probably more to me and Zane. You guys look like you have it together.
I'm sure everybody's looking at me like, what the hell is that guy on?
But we will put the information down below. as always, we want to know the future of what's going on. And as Zach and Paige had told us during the interview, before the interview, they're taking a pause next year. That is in the anticipation that they're going in person in 2025, which would be absolutely fantastic. As always, you'll see the Horrorcraft podcast crew there. Wherever it's going to be, we'll be there, because we love you guys and support you guys. But as that information starts trickling out and they're planning for that, we will put that information on our page and be screaming it out into the existence. If you like what you hear right now, go check out the content from the film festival last year. Zach actually came on with Angie and I to do a true crime episode, and it is still one of my favorites of this year, because it's just a great episode. Unfortunately, Paige was sick during that time, which I felt horrible, but Zach kind of held it down for everyone, and it is a fantastic episode. I think it's really great. I've already had a couple people who said they want another one like that, so obviously, you know, Zach and Paige will always be around. They're a fixture here at the Horrorcraft podcast, and we love the Thrills, Chills, and Kills Film Festival. If you did not know, Zach has a crazy, amazing woodworking business. We kind of talked about his business last year as well, and we will link his information. Paige is out just doing everything.
Everything.
Paige is a saint for everyone.
Yeah.
So she needs a plaque. Paige the saint.
Statue,
you know, monument, you know,
Monetary golden coins.
yeah, you know,
There we go.
brick, whatever. So unfortunately, Angie was not able to make it with us tonight. However, we might be able to get her to come in and just say a few things. If not, please go check out the former episodes that we've had her on. She is also a permanent fixture, and who knows, you might be seeing her in the near future as well, because Angie and I are always trying to get on together. But yeah, so check this film festival out. It's free. I mean, they're going in person, but even then, that is still going to be worth the value. This is something like we were just talking about. You can put your pulse on what's going on in horror right now by watching this film festival. You will know the things that you can expect to see in the next couple months and the trends. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of this, going on, watching all of this. Break out your spooky pajamas if you're like me and got influenced as shit and ran your ass down to Walmart to get those spooky pajamas that they just hauled out. Get on your comfy spooky pajamas from Walmart, get some good Halloween candy, get a pop, whatever you need. Just sit your ass down and watch these movies. And if they get a little too intense for you, you know, just
Like a palate cleanser.
yeah,
comfort
you know,
show,
just take
whichever.
a deep breath, you know, it'll be fine. And then you move on to the next one. So the great thing about these is a lot of these are only like 3 to 10 minutes. Maybe there's some bigger ones, but they're a fantastic group of films. Zach, as always, is going to give me the information about the blocks. So you will see the block schedule in our episode for this. And this will be coming out 2 weeks before the film festival. So that way you have enough time to listen to this, mark your schedules, and get on. So if you have any questions, Thrills, Chills, and Kills has their Facebook group. They're also on Instagram. We'll link all that down below. And you can always shoot us a message over at our socials for the Horrorcraft podcast and our email address, which we've said multiple times. So thank you both for coming on. We're super excited that you guys are married. Yay!
Yay!
Thank y'all for having us.
As always, we were super excited to have you guys on. I don't know about you, Zane, but I'm psyched. I'm ready. I got my chair ready. So, but until next time, it's me, Cassandra,
Zane.
and we are the Horrorcraft Podcast. We lost Kylie to technical issues. The goddamn mountains took her, but we'll get her back for the next episode. We'll reel her back in one way or another, whether we have to fight the aliens or not. So until next time, it's me, Cassandra from the Horrorcraft Podcast. And I said bye and
And
stay
stay
spooky.
spooky.
Bye.
Bye.